Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a deadlift day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. So today I went ahead and went with 75 pounds of band tension on a normal conventional deadlift, because last time I did this I did 525 plus the bands. I felt like I could get this today, so I went ahead and went 545. Plus the band tension, so that's 20 pounds more than the last time I did this, which was, about a week after that last meet. Lockout strength is doing very good there. I'm not weak off the floor, so band tension tends to give me a very good idea of what's going on because it's hard to grind against bands, and so they're hitting really hard at my sticking point, which is right about the knee. So it was really useful. So I decided to do for assistance work a little bit of back down work. I wanted to do just another heavy single. Which actually that 525 with no bands felt fairly heavy after the max. So again, because I took just a short break after hitting the true max, I wanted to do that to, again, hit some upper threshold motor units and to have some pre-activation for my rep set. So I went ahead and did 4 and 5. Again, now I'm fatigued at this point. I just wanted to get a real good quality work set. Did 8 reps. But because I did a max first and then I did another heavy single that was probably felt like around 95% with the fatigue from that immediately before, because I did that, stripped the plates down real fast, ran over, did that set. So that again, we get the benefits of doing that heavy single first. So the activation is phenomenal. So I felt my back tremendously. Interestingly enough, even though we know glutes and hamstrings are the primary movers on the deadlift, I felt those sets, particularly that heavy single, then the 405 rep set, I felt it all in my back. And by back, I don't just mean lower back. I mean, I felt in my lats, traps, all of that. It's really the only place I felt that. Now afterwards, because I did work posterior chain there, even though I didn't feel it, we know it's the primary movers. I worked in just 2 sets of really good glute ham raises. These again felt slightly crampy by the end of the second set, but I did supersets with these with the belt squat. And I've already said I really need to bring my quads and adductors up. It's going to be important to do so moving forward for my squatting. So I'm going to do on both the lower days, both the squat and the deadlift, I'm going to do belt squats. And I did 5 sets last time. I did 5 sets today. Although I did 10s last time with a little less weight, I went up and I did 5s. And I'm trying to do these with a really wide stance. Notice my toes are at the edge of that platform. And I'm trying to go, pretty deep. I'm trying to get below parallel on these. Some of these, looking at this angle, maybe they didn't get as deep as I wanted till maybe the last rep. But I'm also trying to get used to doing these again with that super wide stance. Because again, I really need that to bring the adductors up. But up here, my second set of glute ham raises, I've noticed after I climbed off of it, I'm like, I better stop. I've got a meeting I'm going to have to sit down for with a client for quite a while today in a video call. And I already know if I do too many glute ham raises and then I sit down for too long, my hamstrings cramp up. So it's just something I need to be aware of and I had to think of before that because I finished this workout, maybe an hour and a half before that meeting, right? So I'm going to have to try to get this uploaded before then, but you guys get the idea. It can be problematic, but since I'm doing the glute ham raises both lower days, we can get away with a little less volume. So here again, third set of the belt squats. And again, trying to get used to this real wide angle because this is really what I need. And I'm going heavier because again, sometimes the higher reps seem to aggravate that tendon. My quad tendons and patellar tendons feel really good today. So I don't want to risk aggravating them with maybe some too high rep of stuff. And I'll see how they feel when squat day gets here on Tuesday. So the remaining sets of these, I did supersets with my reverse hyperextensions, which I did 5x10. Did 5x10 on these. So again, we do these. I don't think that they are building that much right now because I'm using the much lighter weights. I don't think it's necessarily building a lot. It's probably causing some hypertrophy in the entire posterior chain, but I'm really focusing on them for restoration because I'm doing a heavy squat and a heavy deadlift, right? Because I'm doing two max effort lowers every week, and particularly with the deadlifting. as I'm doing volume work on it too, I want to make sure that that low back gets put in traction. I want the recovery, I want the restoration. So it's quite important to what I'm doing. So again, putting that traction on the back, very important. Which again, we'll see here. And you guys know how I feel about reverse hypers. Everyone knows I love these. They know why. I've made countless videos on it. So again, not only as a hypertrophy exercise for the entire posterior chain, although I feel it's best for the erectors and glutes. And hip hinging in general is best for your glutes. Again, any sort of hip hinge beneficial to the glutes. And so I end up doing a couple different types, plus the squatting and stuff. So my glutes actually are getting a ton of work between these 2 days, which they need. But I feel like the glutes are not really limiting me because we look at what my deadlift is, and we know the primary movers are glutes and hamstrings. I pulled 615 last week, and my squat is falling quite a bit behind. So we know it's not posterior chain limiting my squat. We know it's not glutes limiting my squat. Not to say we don't need to train them because we need the deadlift to go up, but I feel like for squatting at this point, it is quads and adductors. All right, it's that anterior side limiting me. And maybe I need more back work too, because again, I feel only back on the deadlifts. So what I'm contemplating here, is do I need to just do more deadlift volume to work that, or should I add additional back work? I don't want to do a lot more rowing or pull-ups than I'm doing right now though. So I'm hoping I'll get the additional benefits from the rep work on the deadlifts. So that's going to be the strategy for now, because again, they do build the upper body very effectively. We've got some clinical data suggesting that. Not just the EMG studies. EMG studies tend to show that deadlifts are the best lat exercise. Well, I don't believe that that's the case biomechanically, but there's probably a lot of activation there. But I think that activation combined with good lat and trap exercises such as rowing, pull-ups, stuff like that, I think that's our winning combination, because then we're hitting almost these isometric short range of motion partials with heavy weight in the same training weeks where we're doing the full range of motion dynamic type training. Now that's not a bad combination, and they probably are contributing to development in those areas there. But again, last set of the reverse hypers, we did 5 sets of 10. The last set I always try to get a few more reps if I can. Again, just to try to get a little bit of hypertrophic response out of a restoration exercise, especially when I'm using it for restoration. I'm not going as hard on these as I used to. You guys remember when I used to load 600 plus pounds on this, but they'd be swinging so much. This is 250. All right, and then we finish up with these leg extensions with the bands. Did approximately 100 reps. I used the red band last time, went up to the blue, which is at least 50% stronger. It's probably a little more, approximately really 60% more tension. And again, felt quite a bit more quad burn on this. And hopefully this will continue to remove whatever inflammation I was getting in those tendons on squatting. So while we continue to do the extra quad and adductor work, we need to have the tendon health work in here just to make sure that we're good there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.